Wow. Why would you look at that? I finally remembered to do the next part of this comic. I've been on a break from this for too long, but I finally, decided to start recording this. I finally, we're gonna show the next part that happens. Maybe this will be the final part and the rest of the comic is shown. I'm not sure. So, this shows what happened at the end of the last video. Larva is talking to Mothropod here, and I'm not gonna read the speech text bubbles because uh, it shows that in the last video. Uh, lol. So we have the purple shadows here, walking home, and we're gonna get right into the fight thing. There's a kid, just a random kid person thing. It has a bow, and it's gonna shoot him. So let's watch this. I like how we can zoom in. That's really useful. So here it is. He shoots it, and look at all this background stuff. Like I I think I convinced myself that I like drawing landscapes, and especially like the natural kind. Like look at all these pine trees, and I know it's a terrible view because the quality of the photo is just not good, but it's whatever. Uh, yeah, so it goes towards him here. It's I think it's supposed to be sunset, and uh, the arrow hits him. Doesn't really do much. Catches the arrow, and like if you zoom in on this, like he's not happy. He's ready to fight. So the kid, he sees him, and I'm just gonna say I like the way I drew this bow. Like it's a good front view of this kid holding the bow, I guess. Uh, and here's more arrows coming. Phew! Woo! um, I drew like the arrowheads like really like detailed for some reason. It shouldn't need to be that detailed. I don't know why I took the time to do that, but I can't say I regret it, right? Yeah, I can't say I regret it. So next, huh? Oh, okay. So the purple shadow is another one of his powers, or at least this like version of him. Uh, Out from like any part of his body, he can sprout like these like really long arms with hands at the end, and they're like black and shadowy. And yeah, the arrows, it's really hard to see. I'm sorry for the quality of these photos, they're not good. But the arrows go through, and I'd imagine, I think they break some of his like extended arms. So they got a hit, but they didn't hit the main body. Um, we see kids running, or the bipeds, as I called them in the last few videos. Uh, yeah, they're running. They think they stand a chance they're gonna get him. And once again, here's like more background art. It's really low quality. I wish it was better, but it's just like a bunch of plants and stuff in the background, and there's like some sky microbes, and we see the kids. I really didn't really take this very seriously. They're supposed to be stick figures, except more detailed, basically. That's what they're supposed to represent. And they have like these daggers and swords and whatever. Um, the purple shadows puts out his hand, and he's like summoning his like swords. Children must die. That's what he says, and it's like really demented. I cannot believe I wrote that, people. Well, I can believe that I wrote it, but yeah, it says children must die because oh dear. Alright, let's go to the next thing. Here comes more children, more bipeds, and yeah, he's look at him, he's like walking on his extra arms, stabbing the swords at the kids, but they're like sword fighting against it. And this one spooky kid, that the one that like started the fight and like shot the bow or shot the arrow, he's like, shoot more arrows at that monster. Try your best to kill it. And there's a random kid saying, that's the menace that has been destroying us. It's a threat to our kind. Everyone go and try your hardest. Kind of corny, really. I'm dying, oops. Ha. Let's see, what bullcrap does he have to say here? False imitations, mimicry of humanity. Yeah, what does that mean exactly? Well, I guess we might. I guess I might as well explain it. These kids, like these stick figure people, whatever you call them, are like supposed to be look very average looking, and you can tell by the way I've drawn them, and they're basically supposed to represent like the default player model that you play as when you start a game. So example, there's like Steve from Minecraft, there's like Ramirez from Fortnite, and those other characters you can play as. Um, and this world that they're in is kind of like a simulation, and the Purple Shadows is basically like the owner of it in a way, or the one that rules over it, and kind of, well, not kind of, and these players, these kids are appearing without him like doing anything, and everything else in the world is essentially created by him in a way. They're like everything else is created by him, but not exactly. Um, a lot of the ideas are in my head, so it's not fully explained. He gets hit in the back with the arrow. A kid is doing something, raising a sword. Wastes of my mind. Okay, I think at the time of making this comic, man, it's been 3 years. That is terrible. How time flies. I think back then I wasn't trying to interpret it as like the kids being like a byproduct of the Purple Shadow's mind. So like they'll be like kind of like offshoots of his imagination instead of like coming from a entirely different source. So yeah, he shoots a sword at him. He's ready to block. The Purple Shadows gets down on his knees. He puts his hands into the ground, or onto the ground. You see these like particles appearing. And what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen, you may ask? Well, we will see. And boom. Whoosh. Oh dear. Yeah, a whole bunch of like large, tall plants grow, specifically like grass and weeds. He's like, and random kid is like, what? How did he grow all of that? Where is he now? Get ready to. And the scary, spooky kid is like, fire into the grass! Can someone start a fire? This is a new trick they're using. And um, yeah, so this kid specifically like is really dedicated to killing the Purple Shadows, because the Purple Shadows has been killing all these players or kids or bipeds, whatever you want to call them. Um, so yeah, he starts sneaking through the grass. He's stabbing people from behind. Man, that sounds really bad out of context. But yeah, he's stabbing them, and he's getting the surprise on them. Uh, and more arrows are being fired, like that kid commanded, and it backfires. As you can see, one of the kids gets shot. Um, stop firing, friendly fire. And yeah, it's not good. And the purple shadows in this really gory way kills the next person. The sword goes right through his head, and yeah, that's scary. The purple shadows summons more swords, but he also summons like this razor blade thing. And yeah, I guess it's too late to say it, but one of his powers is like he can summon like floating objects, specifically like sharp weapons. And yeah, it like all goes up through the grass up on top, and he controls it to his will with his mind or whatever. And yeah, there's a sword flying out there, going whoosh, and there's the razor, the saw blade, I should call it. Yeah, and there's the big landscape again with the sunset, and these, it's really hard to see because of the low quality, but there's just random plants that I drew in the landscape, and here's like the grass here in the middle, where the battle is happening. Sword goes and kills a archer. Another one gets just jabbed in the head by one of the other swords. The spooky kid is like, retreat. We have to retreat. We can't attack like this. It's going to pick us off one by one. And the saw blade is saved especially for him. But he runs and he jumps. He escapes. The purple shadows comes out from the grass bush stuff. And I gotta get the booklet, not the booklet, the drawing book to see what he says. Well, I could read that, but heh, that's fine. They can escape. That might keep them away for a little while, or they could be planning another attack. They lost quite a few, so I can be alone for now. So yeah, just getting out of the grass here. And I've gotten I've just gotten like really disinterested in drawing over the years, but I will say I really appreciate how I put like a lot of effort into the background stuff and the characters, and yeah, though to be honest it is pretty time consuming. There he goes, out from the grass. I wonder if there's any other branches in the area and how far they are. I think I should focus on returning to base. Yes. And here we see like the eyes, like the glowing ghost eyes on his like body. They glow here, and he's basically, I guess, psychically contacting the other branches. And we kind of get this visual of the landscape here, but also like, I don't know if metaphorical is the right word, but this like abstract look of like the purple shadows like branches, like contacting each like branch, like each vessel as it's called. um Here's the place where he was just at. It was like the phantom layer. Yeah, where like the mountains and stuff are. And like there's this other place with mountains, and there's like a one of his vessels is like this cat thing, not larva, but it's like this other cat thing. um there is this, oh gosh, the quality of the image is really bad, I apologize for that, but it's like a giant monster with a lot of legs and stuff. So yeah, later Larva is at his home again, or in his room, both. I'm not sure what to think of this. I was a pretty ferocious kid a couple years ago. Oh gosh, a couple years ago, but I've come to terms with myself. I'm more of a hero. I don't randomly kill innocent beings. I only kill very bad people when I need to. I need to go think about this. Huh. Holy crap. I thought we already gone past this part. But yeah, he leaves home. He goes to the mountains, and you can see like more microbes in the air. And yeah, he climbs a mountain, and he just wants to like a lone place to think to himself. And you see like more like microbes here in the sky. I really like the detailed sky. I was really dedicated to that at the time. And he's sitting there. He's thinking to himself, my master is a killer. He created me though, and he is like a parent figure to me. I don't want to be like him though. I don't want so many people to die just because master doesn't trust them. And you see this like random lantern creature, like the one at the last part of this comic in the Phantom Lair. And here's another like thinking bubble. From this view, I can spot out people. I can warn them of what my master is doing. So yeah, at this part, I think this was going to have to do with like the kids, like the different types of kids. Like he would go to a this settlement of kids, and he would like warn them of what the Purple Shadows was doing. And I and thinking about it, I don't really know what I'll do from there. Um, yeah, it's complicated, but I went with something else. Out of nowhere, not only this giant eagle you see the talons of, but also these gigantic worms floating. Um, they're on their way to attack him. And this is the top view of the lantern creature too, and larva. Next page. Um, Here it comes. He notices it. So does the lantern creature. He jumps to avoid it. He's like, Ebola worms! And here's the talon. It gets the worm, unintentionally though. It meant to get larva for the most part. And I like this pose he's doing. He's like ready to move. He's like looking up, up, um, and here it is, a gigantic freaking eagle. A monster concept I thought of long ago. I wanted to reuse it again someday, like when I was writing this comic. But like the the origin of this monster like goes way back. It was just a really simple design I thought of, and yeah, I don't know why I thought of it, but yeah, it's a giant purple eagle. We don't see its head yet. Here they are. They're scared. They are not having a good time, and the other Ebola worm just stops in its tracks because it doesn't want to run into it. There it is, the giant eagle. It tries to like peck him or eat him. Larva jumps out of the way, and Larva falls back. And at this point, he's not impressed. He's just looking at the feather. And looking back, I'm kind of sad this scene was short. I wish it was like a longer scene. So yeah, it's whatever. But one of the purple eagle's feathers falls off, and he just lands face first into the ground. But he is a cat, so he should have landed on all fours. But whatever. And he reaches for the feather and walks off. And yeah, I was really lazy drawing this. Like let's go back a few pages. Yeah, it was around this time when like I really got burnt out and like didn't want to draw it. I can't see the date here, but here it is on the real life paper. September, oh gosh, this was September 11th, 2020. Okay, what a date that is. And then this is October 20th. So once again, you can see like the 1 month intervals between stuff. Yeah, you can tell that I just wasn't really happy drawing. I don't really know what's wrong, but I realized that you really just have to force yourself into something. If you want to do something with your life, you just gotta. But if you don't feel like doing it, you just kind of have to force yourself to continue the progress, if that makes sense. Um, Here's December 24th, 2020, going towards the end of the year. Um, okay, yeah, I think I continued being somewhat consistent. Um, yeah, so here's the next page. Um, Larva's walking. He's like, all right, well, my journey was messed up. So, look at it. Look at that. He's not happy. I guess I'll leave and take this feather. Is pretty rare to get such a feather like this from a giant purple eagle. If my senses are correct, that eagle is specifically focusing on that wormy worm. If it may get Ebola from it though. So yeah, but uh, this is supposed to be like the top of the like mountain or hill. The eagle like peeks its head over and looks down at Larva. Look at that stupid face. Oh man. And yeah, looks down at him. Like look at that. That is a menacing face. And it looks down at him. It is not happy with him for whatever reason. So it lifts up again. Here comes its talons. I really like the way I drew them for some reason. Like I don't know why, I just thought it was really good. March 1st. Holy crap. When was the last one? February 18th, 2021. Wow. So yeah, here it goes. Willarva's like, I guess I was wrong. How do I stop this? And here comes the Purple Shadows, or one of the vessels that I talked about earlier, the cat. Um, he rushes towards Larva, and Larva like senses it. He's like whack. He whacks it with with his tail to like knock it away because he doesn't know what it wants. And the eagle is confused. And here's a closer look at the cat. Its head is kind of like the mouth part is kind of based off of a ambly pidgey, kind of, because where their faces they have these like two long claws, but this is kind of more like a crab kind of claw here. So yeah, and its eyes start to glow, and like boom, like this freaking like laser thing comes out. This fiery laser. I don't even know what it's supposed to be, but it blasts the eagle with it, and it like looks like it's like the eye thing, and it looks like it's disintegrating, and that's kind of what happens. But in reality, it was just teleported. Like its whole body was just teleported away. And Larva looks at that, and he's like, "Wow." He still has the feather with him, but it's like dropped. Man, that is a low quality. I apologize once again for these low quality images. They're like I wish I took the pictures better. Um, Larva inner dialogue. Did that just disintegrate? How did that happen? So yeah, he never saw this like branch of the purple shadows before. So yeah, look at that. He's standing there looking at it, and it looks at him, and they're like some kind of confrontation. Inner dialogue. How did that catharopod do that? I never seen this one before. But that thing that it just did that looked like one of Master's eyes. I need to focus on it. I need to focus on it. I need to prepare to dodge its next attack. Oh, okay. And the other cat speaks, crackles, Veno larva. Your master requests to see you. So yeah, this is like I don't know what it is, a branch of the Purple Shadows, but for some reason I decided to make it behave differently. It should be like the same as the Purple Shadows behavior, but I don't know. Larva's like, what? You can talk? Yes. When will you be going back to the Scary Random Room Network, aka their home? It requests to speak with you. Larva's like, oh, okay, this journey will be cut short because of how dangerous it has been. Even if I die, my body will just regenerate. Uh, there's some lore or exposition there about or info about larva you can learn. Still, I don't like being disrupted. I'll go back now. Can I keep the giant eagle feather? And it's like, yes. Later, larva travels back to home. He has the feather. I think that's supposed to be the moon in the background with the landscape. And there's like this front is like iconic to me. Has that like branch, not branch, but like those boards with like the freaking lamp. Yeah. So yeah, next page. I feel like I'm in trouble. Oh, larva, where are you? That's the purple shadows. He just comes down from the ceiling with his like extra arms. Purple shadows is like, there you are. How have you been, child? I can visually calculate that you've been in physical conflict. I've been in physical conflict too. Man, the freaking quality of the image is really bad. Holy crap, 27 minutes. I apologize for that. Yeah, I think we're gonna end it here, definitely. Um, I should have known this was gonna be, not the last part. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this to be interesting or somewhat entertaining, and have a good day or night.